Guys, Corpus Christi, Texas is the place to be now. I know today and tomorrow is supposed to be the worst fishing days of the entire month, but it doesn't matter. Look at this weather, man. This is the first time I've been in the Hobie without any wind, and my goodness, guys. So I took this thing up to almost 8 miles an hour a second ago. I got over 5 knots. This thing is amazing. Definitely, it'll do 5, no problem. I mean, I'll start getting tired before it's an issue of, oh, I can't go any faster. I mean, I'll literally be like, I could push this, but I'm gonna end up being tired before we get where we're going. That's hopefully where we're going soon. We got a couple more miles to travel that way, so we'll get there in a minute. All right, guys, I've just spotted a monster. I'm gonna try to get over here and get a hoagie in there. 4.8. We're coming up on a this bird just hit the water way over there. I'm sitting in about 5 feet of water. Oh, guys, I don't think I can come up on him. I don't see him now. Man, that thing was just all over the top of the water. You just saw a fin moving around. It looked like a miniature giant shark. It was a red, I think. And today's supposed to be an awful fishing day, so maybe they'll be everywhere and not biting. I don't know. We'll see. Guys, I'm recording right now because those porpoises just identified me and started coming this way. They're curious. But if I knock out of the Hobie, this will be a good chance for me to show you how to get back in it. If I don't get eaten by some sort of man-eating nonsense here. Pretty good. Well, they've disappeared. I guess they moved on. Their curiosity got them. I knew I should have had the GoPro on a second ago. Had a feeling, but I don't see nothing. I'm gonna turn it off and save the battery. We're almost at the island. All right, guys, we are getting ready to make landfall on this island over here. Let's see if we can see that even. Yeah, way off in the distance. I don't know, it's not that far now compared to what it looked like about half an hour ago. But we're gonna get up here. Hopefully we can get in some reds. We'll be back as soon as we make landfall. And I gotta say, guys, no wind out here. I like it and dislike it at the same time. One, the mosquitoes have kind of found me out here in the middle of nowhere. Two, the well, I really don't have a two. Mosquitoes is the biggest concern with the wind. It's like glass out here, guys. Look at this water. My goodness, man. I cut some chop through here with my Hobie a second ago. I was pushing almost 5 knots going through here in the glass, just kind of like messing around. But we've seen some stuff, haven't come up on anything. I had one nibble when we were leaving the estuary over there we put in at, but nothing really definitive here. We're gonna get up near this island and see if we can't get into some reds or something, but we'll be up there shortly. Hey, it's getting closer. All right, guys, I've got up on the back side of this cove here. Well, I'm on the back side of this island that we beached at. I've already made a positive ID on a red in here. I was walking up here just to see what was in here, and there was one about 8 foot off the shore that I didn't see when I took my first cast, and he took off and I saw him. And I was like, man, I'm gonna try to get some of that. So I got a shrimp about 3.5 foot under a popping cork. maybe 3 foot. Oh my. Man, these mosquitoes, I'll tell you what, guys, these mosquitoes straight hurt. There it is right there in the water. I don't know if you saw that right there. Oh man. Oh, something's over by my guy. Hopefully that ain't bait fish. Come on, pick it up. You see me? There's something right next to it. Wonder if I shouldn't throw a hoagie in here, man. There's fish haul back here. That's a mullet jumping. There's another one. There's something right next to my thing. It's called a bobber. These mosquitoes are treacherous, guys. I left a spray in the truck about 5 miles back. It wasn't a problem yet. I didn't even think about it. Tell you what though, man, I got out here in this swamp that I had to cross through to get over here, and these mosquitoes are tearing me up. So definitely keep that in mind on 0 wind days. There's nothing to keep the mosquitoes at bay. I really need to check it. There's still got a bait on there. Oh, these reds. I've seen a couple fish today, but they're saying that this is a bad day for fishing. Oh, we will see. No. We will see. Something swerving. Come on and grab it. Pick me up. Pick it up. Mosquito off me. Well, guys, Dad got his first red, little baby as it were. We'll get him going, and hopefully we can come up on some more. They're starting to come in here, so hopefully this is a good spot. Corpus Christi, Texas, fellas. This is a beautiful day today, but the size of these mosquitoes, not cool. It's yeah, hopefully we can get one on soon. Okay, guys, I'm getting back in my Hobie here. I'm gonna go and chase down my popping cork that is now drifting about the bay. Now the cool thing about the Hobie is you can absolutely get in it after you realize, hey, I'm not bank fishing, I'm on a kayak. You can absolutely, I got this thing backwards. You can absolutely get in it and take off after your cork there. I don't even know if you can see that, it's way over there. Holy cow. Get some of this deeper water. What are we in now? 1.7 feet. Not quite. Mirage depth. 1.5 is my safety distance, but I'll tell you what, guys, I don't want to chance it. Now this is sandy bottom. This is flat bottom for the most part. You know. Also, I'm using this backwater assassin paddle. This thing is awesome if you got a duck foot and push this thing down and use yourself like a gondola. I'm now in a couple feet of water, so I could 100% turn this thing on, but I don't need to because my cork is right there. Well, my cork was right there. Got it. Sorry, turn the camera. So, $3 a piece, guys. All right, that's like the umpteenth one I've lost in the last month. These Cajun corks, man, I'm gonna tell you. This is an H&H coastal tackle. I gotta tell you guys, this thing, they don't make them like they used to, guys. They don't. It's I've successfully retrieved it. It took 2 minutes. I retrieved my cork there. Definitely now there's mullet menhaden working up in here. I was actually fishing out this way when I threw my cork off from right over there on the stuck right over there on the bank. My dad's at his Hobie over there taking a rest. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff in the water, guys. You know what? How much battery I got left on this GoPro? There's no telling, guys. I only have a couple % left, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to land one for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and try to land one. Use one of these shrimp. Lock the bait bucket so it can go in the water. I hope it's locked because it's face down. I really should secure my Mirage drive, but guys, I'm in 2 foot of water, and if I tip over in this, I got bigger problems. Let's see. You know what? Just throw them out there. Tiny shrimp on a giant 7-knot. I'm in 2.5 feet now, though, so I can definitely put the Mirage drive down. But I just want to kind of see if I can get a good shot of this here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and lock this thing in, just so that boat doesn't knock me out of my kayak. Flush. I wonder if I should troll this shrimp, or if I should strictly not. Put it on that popping cork, really. It's too loose. I'm gonna accidentally set a hook on something, and then actually, guys, I shouldn't be setting the hooks at all with these. I'm using circle hooks. You're not supposed to set them. They're designed so you don't have to. Of course. You release your hook early. All right, let's see. 3 wraps. 2, 3. Help it. Be right around. Okay. Let's see if we can get face back this way. Those fish were like about over there. And the wind's blowing in my face now. I better tighten this slack before they get away from me. I don't think I'm gonna, well, you know what? I'm not gonna not think. I'm not thinking. I'm not getting paid to think out here. I'm just fishing. Man. Guys, I'm chasing a tarpon around the bay as we speak. He stole my line. He's got my bobber in his mouth. He's been jumping out of the water. I just lost him. Oh, he jumped out like 4 or 5 times with this thing on his mouth. He busted it off like 2 feet away from the kayak. I was trying to turn the GoPro on and he snapped my line. Oh man, where'd he go? Let's see if we can see him. Oh, I was right next to him. I could have grabbed my, there he is. I'm going. All right, guys, I've seen this thing. There he is. Where'd you go? God. He's gonna get tired eventually, guys. What? Alright guys, I am by no means a rookie when it comes to fishing, but I just lost my tarpon. And I'm not even 100% it was a tarpon, but as much as it was jumping out of the water, the good look I got at it, it was either a tarpon or a mackerel. I know those are giant differences, but this thing was jumping all over the place. It was a good size too. It wouldn't have keeper if it was a tarpon, but man, it hit like a freight train. And then I was casting into a school in Manhattan with a shrimp under a popping cork about a foot down, and this thing just took off on me. I get it right up by the kayak. I was trying to mess with the GoPro, and I had it literally 2 feet away. I was ready to land this thing, guys. I should have just put it in the boat and then worried about the GoPro, but this thing snapped my line at the cork. Now this is crazy. Look, you got the setup right there. It's a popping cork about a foot down, you know, probably more like 14 inches, but still, same setup, guys. Broke off right at the cork, and the thing was, after it snapped off the cork, I saw it again and again. It jumped out of the water about 4 or 5 more times. I was following it with the Hobie. I was keeping up with it pretty good. Just as I got in a position to snatch my cork out the water and grab that thing up into the boat, it took off under the boat, or the kayak rather, and zipped off, and I ain't seen it since. And I turned around real quick, and by the time I turned around, I couldn't see it. I didn't see it jumping no more, and I didn't see my cork skimming the top of the water. So he's gone, guys. He is gone. But lesson learned. Next time I'll get the shot afterwards. I mean, I really wish I could have that whole scenario on film, but man, I couldn't even get the GoPro snapped on. It was doing the click beep it does, and then bam, it died. Or no, it didn't die this time. The fish got off, so it is what it is. But hopefully we can get something here soon, guys. A beautiful day out today. The breeze has picked up to a nice little breeze, enough for me not to be, well, of course too, I think it had something to do with that island we stopped at, guys. There was a swamp in the middle of it. I shot that little tidbit going over to the other side of it, fishing that little cove there. I did notice that it was like a swamp back there, so definitely it's probably where all those mosquitoes came from. But out here on the water, I didn't see a mosquito until we got there to that island, so we're looking pretty good, guys. Probably gonna lower my depth here a little bit and get away from this island. And we are saying goodbye to this island for now. Again, my dad caught one under red. It's about 19 and a half, and that was it. Nothing really magical happened. I got a bite or two, caught a needlefish that was pretty good size, threw it back. I didn't even bother with the GoPro at that point. I got me a couple good bites, and then the last thing I did was lost a fish. So we're leaving this cursed isle, that as it were. But we can get some more footage for you guys, and be back with you shortly. Alright guys, I get a look at some of the porpoises here. Man, I gotta start leaving this thing on. Well, the problem is the batteries aren't good enough for me to leave this thing on the entire time. They're just not. And I'm not 100% sold that I'm gonna be getting another battery for this thing either. It is good and all, but I don't know, guys. It is what it is. Batteries don't last super long. I don't know. I feel like I want to get a Nikon action cam, but I don't know. I'm not sure that their batteries are going to last any longer for what it is, unless they got bigger batteries. Definitely cool footage here. Got some porpoise following me. Trying to get these things. Oh man, look at that, guys. Oh, I'm gonna have to send this to GoPro. That was excellent. I'm here complaining about my battery life and I got stuff like this going on. Well, that's why I'm complaining about my battery life. This is the coolest thing ever. Hopefully they don't breach under me, knock me out of this thing, but if they do, I'll take the chance to go ahead and show you how to get back in this thing in 14 foot of water. Oh man, this is awesome, guys. I'm for the first time in my life swimming alongside the porpoises, dolphins. whichever these may be. This is pretty cool, guys. It doesn't get any more out on the water than this. Just a man in his nature. See if we can get some more shots of these dolphins. They seem to be going back that way. And you know, in hindsight, maybe I should have took out a line. No, you know what? I had the unfortunate fortunates of hooking up to a dolphin on the wall at Rockport a couple months ago, and I'm gonna tell you what, I'd rather not have that situation in a kayak. That thing wasn't easy to land. Oh man. And we had an understanding once I did land him, actually, guys. We kind of parted ways amicably. He helped me get him off the hook pretty easy. Again, dolphins are smart. He didn't want that hook in his mouth any more than I did. Hey, look at it right there. I'm gonna have to edit that, guys. That looked like a great white shark. Oh man, that was awesome. I got him in the water right under me. All right, guys, I'm trying to get as much of this porpoise footage as I can without getting tipped out. We just have one go right directly under us. It was the coolest shot I have ever taken. Hopefully it came out on the GoPro, guys. That was amazing. I'm gonna have to edit that footage either way. It probably won't have sound for the simple fact that I got so excited. I shot at something I probably shouldn't have. But this is awesome. Like, I'm using the last of the GoPro battery for this, guys. I think if I get on a fish later, I'm gonna regret it, but I really am not. This is the coolest thing ever. Look at this. I wonder how long I wonder how close they'll let me get. I mean, they've already come up right to me. I just don't want to get knocked out of this thing. Porpoises are smart, guys. Porpoises are smart. They probably see me coming up in here. Left my dad in the wake back there. There they are. Great footage, guys. Look at that. They're just majestic. Majestic creatures. Beautiful. I wonder if I can zoom this thing in while I'm doing this. Maybe, maybe not. No, it doesn't look like it. I'm gonna have to get these things in my, well, looks like all the fun we're gonna have with the porpoises for a second, guys. Let's get this voyage back underway. So, oh, also, I said I'd do a little tidbit on the water about the Lorentz. Let's see this thing. I can barely see my screen. Okay. This is the chart map. Now, this little black line is actually showing me where I've gone and where I'm going. And I'm going back, you know, about the way I came. Now, it won't tell you turn left here or take this channel marker to this spot, but what it will do is it'll let you mark a specific spot and go directly to it. I mean, if you drift off course, you'll be able to see it, but the sonar in the water, guys, this is, okay, I can see here that we're on a light grassy bottom with some sand. Don't ask me how I know, I just know. Definitely, you can see the bottom kind of, this is probably sandy, and for the fact that it's real hilly too, it's probably a good chance that it's sand. But I'm gonna speculate there's some grass in there too, just because the way the bottom kind of looks on the bottom of it. But for sure, guys, this Lorentz, right now I'm in 10.6 foot of water, traveling at 1.6, 1.5, 1.4. I'm slowing down. I'm not really pedaling much out here. I was trying to get those porpoises, and I'll tell you what, that was some cool stuff. But you got your water temperature at 72.5. The water temperature's already risen about 3 or 4 degrees since we've been out here, guys. It was about 69, 68, 67 degrees. Almost 70 when we got here, and it's only gotten warmer. Of course, it's getting warmer outside, so that makes sense. Water's heating up a little bit. All right, so here we got some fish. Now, this little trail of stuff you can still see behind what appear to be fish in all. Again, guys, the size of those on the screen right now, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll know when I edit, but those are probably jellyfish. Because when we were out on the way out here, there's thousands of them. I mean, literally, I've never seen so many fish on a screen before, but I started looking down when I could see the bottom, when I could still see that stuff, and there's jellyfish everywhere. And so, and every once in a while we passed like one that was 5 times bigger than everything else on the screen. Probably that was a fish. These little tiny ones, probably not so much. But these little clusters here, they're green on my screen because I got it on the green for the sonar. But those things are appearing more and more to be bait fish clusters and things. When I'm seeing stuff like that, I've already seen, you know, schools of menhaden, perch, things, you know, in different various forms underneath us, and seen those clouds. So I'm gonna assume that cloudier stuff is in fact bait fish. But again, guys, hopefully we can get back to our launch point, maybe hook up something right there in the estuaries. If not, we're gonna break for lunch, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, we are heading back to the launch spot. I'm going through some of this rougher chop. That's not too crazy, but I want to show you here when I get one of these rolling waves come at me. Well, these aren't. Well, yeah, they are. But, I'll show you here. So this thing definitely a little wetter than the 2018. My dad's over there, dry as can be. I got this going on. Now I want you to see this. And the water feeds over the bow here. Let's see if I can get one going on it. Kind of get. Oh, these are bad examples. They got small on me all of a sudden. We'll come up on. Sorry, so like that. When it splashes over the top, and it'll do that. The bigger these things get, these are actually kind of getting calm now that I'm trying to show everybody this. But the bigger these things get that you're going into, the more of this stuff seems to come over the top. All right, so let's see if we can get some of this chop to come over the front so I can show you guys what I'm talking about here. So this is when you get into the rougher stuff and you start going real fast and you start hitting stuff like that and it starts coming over the edge just like that. Now obviously that's more severe as these things get bigger. Of course, when I turn this thing on and try to show everybody this, they're not as severe, but if I kind of power through them, I'll get the same effect. All right, so you got water and stuff, and it's good when you see it really right up over the edge because people panic. I want to show you something real quick, guys. Oh, that would have been a good one. Come on, lean into it. Come on, get that one. Come on. Oh, yeah, this is fun. This is fun. All right, guys. All right, that's probably good enough for me. That's the example. Okay, guys. This in here, you open this up, and all my stuff is completely, it's completely dry in there. Now, I've in vain got my ID and fishing license in a dry box anyway. My phone's in a waterproof case. Nonetheless, I keep them in there because something could happen. If they're in there, I tip this thing over. If my hatch is secure, chances are they're still gonna be in there. So, and again, guys, if it's an issue where I've sank this thing in the middle of the channel or something, I got bigger problems. So just know that, yes, they do get wet in here, but in here, for all intent and purposes, the dry box is dry. I'm going to, when we get to the launch up here in probably about 3 more hours, God knows, we're about halfway there. But when we get to where we launched at, I'm gonna open this thing up before we load them, and I'm gonna pull that bucket out, and we're gonna check to see how much water got in here, because I've been purposely kind of getting as much water in this thing as I can, just to see. And again, it sucks out right through the Mirage Drive or the scupper holes or wherever. We're moving along the water, guys. It is what it is. And this thing, also, I'm going into the wind right now. I wonder if I can get this thing up to pushing 4 knots. Woohoo! These are the rougher waves. Yeah! All right, it's hard to keep 4 knots on these rough waves, but for sure, I got it to 4.2. I've had it up to 5, guys, but that was on. It was in stuff like this, but not like this. I wasn't going against this. I was going against the wind, all right, but not waves quite like these to go against. Still 4 knots, you know. That's 4, 5, 6 miles an hour. So yeah, 6 miles an hour, guys. 6 miles an hour against the wind and chop. Yeah, it's pretty decent. I could push it more, but I'm gonna go crazy. I've left my dad back there like by miles. Not really, he ain't that far back, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys how to keep them, well, not how to keep them dry, they'll keep themselves dry, really, guys. A couple things: you want to make sure that your hatch is secured, your plug in the back is secure and in its spot, it's plugged in and tightened. Yes, you have a plug to drain the water that does get in here. And actually I opened mine up when we got here. There was so much fog this morning and dew and stuff. We got a lot of condensation on these things coming up here. It was kind of weird. We got here and I was like, how come these things are dripping? I remember going through rain. He's like, well, it was foggy the whole way up here. Oh yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. I know it was real thick fog. I wasn't even thinking really. I was kind of like, man, we go through rain, that thing's full of water. But it was condensation. It was nice and cool this morning, and so all that moisture just kind of sat and did its thing on the drive up here. But definitely, guys, like, it stayed pretty dry all day. We beached these things on that island a little bit ago, and again, everything was pretty dry. Oh, the water got shallow. We're in about 6 feet of water instead of 11. We're 6'8", 6'9". All right. It's looking good, looking like we're getting closer to where we're going. So realistically, we're about halfway there, guys. You look at the chart plotter, you can see this little black line. That is us. Oh, that's where we came from. We're coming back from this island, that's us right there. We gotta go all the way back in here. But definitely, guys, it's been fun. I hope we can get onto some fish today, so I can, man, I'm gonna have to, when I'm editing this thing, we're gonna find out how much of that gone footage from the alleged tarpon or mackerel or wherever the heck got my cork and all, hook, line, and floater. They got me, man, they got me. I don't know, he must have bit it. I mean, he was right, I saw him do it. He was right there. 1 minute he's fine, I'm getting the GoPro situated so I can get a shot right before I pop him in the kayak and, you know, get him off without getting gored by his razor sharp teeth. And then next thing you know, I'm watching him sail off with my Cajun cork and a 7/0 one of my last of my 7/0 hooks, because I'll tell you guys, like, that's the umpteenth tech, and at least I felt good about this, guys, because I was like, oh, he got my line, he tore it off, whatever else. Kind of looking for my cork everywhere, and then a second later, maybe that, if that. And again, I'm gonna have to check when I'm editing. I'm not sure if the GoPro made it or not, because all this kind of went down while I was messing with the GoPro against my better judgment, guys. But I wanted to get some pictures for you guys. I wanted to get a video of the whole scenario, but that's what I get. I should have just landed the fish, then worried about the video. But definitely it popped up out of the water a few seconds later with my cork in its mouth, and I was like, holy cow, this thing's out of the water. It's still got my cork on it. How did this line snap at the cork? I have no idea still how that happened, but I do have an idea of the fact that it jumped up 3 or 4 more times, and the fact that it had a cork in its mouth, it was having a hard time swimming off or getting going outside of being on top of the water. So I chased it. I caught up this thing in a Hobie. I reached down, I was just close enough to where I could reach my cork, guys. I reached down to grab my cork and pull him in and go ahead and finish landing him. And he zipped under the Hobie, went to the other side, and he was gone after that. I couldn't come up on him. I turned it around, and that was it. I lost track of him, and I was like, man, I didn't chase this guy for probably about 30 yards already, up and down in all kind of ways. Like, I was on him, like, what's that Dr. Phil says, on a duck on a June bug or something like that. It was crazy. But definitely, guys, I'll see what I can get for the footage for that. If we don't have any, man, I'm not ever gonna get footage like that again, guys. More than likely, that was a missed opportunity, because I have never, no, I'm pretty sure I have never had the cork, line, and hook stay intact but get snapped off with a fish. I can only figure I had a knot or something on my line, or the Cajun cork might have had a, you know, a scuff on it or something that got the, I don't know. This is heavy line, guys. When I first got my rod, well, actually, that's not even the line that's on this rod. This one's a different one. But when I first got my combo from Walmart, I had went out to the lake with my kids, and I was thinking, I saw this tree with all these lures in it, and I was thinking to myself, how do you get your lure in that tree? Well, I found out shortly after, in the toppest part of that highest part of the tree, I took a walking cast into the lake, a wide open area, beautiful cast. This thing's just sailing, and the wind was nice and breezy, and it's just going, and all of a sudden I'm walking toward the missus and the kids, and as I'm walking, my line's moving that way too, and I'm like, oh no, it's gonna drift right, yep, oh, right over the top of this tree. So I get it all wound up to where the lure's at the top of the tree. It's on a branch, and I'm thinking, well, it's not coming off. I'm just gonna try to snap my line. So I held onto my rod, Indiana Jones style, cranked it as high as I could crank it, and then put all my weight on it. Well, I then proceeded to lift up off my feet and do an Indiana Jones style little tourage over to the side of the lake. And I was like, oh no. That rod, I mean, the rod, I got it for 40 bucks at Walmart. It's a combo. Actually, it's a white one. You'll see me using it in my videos. The reel was okay until I broke it. I fell on it in the surf. I got swept up by a wave, and I fell right on my reel handle. So naturally, it didn't make it. But I did fix it. I bent it back and got but I went and bought a decent reel. That reel was what it was anyway. I knew I was gonna have to get a new one anyway. It was 40 bucks at Walmart for the combo, but I like the rod. And so, and come to find out, that rod actually floats. It's pretty cool. Again, not necessarily my first choice, but it wasn't my last choice either. Well, actually, technically, it kind of was my last choice. It was the choice I made. So I wanted. Definitely, guys, we've had some mishaps today. Well, I've had some mishaps today. My dad got his fish. I caught a needlefish. That was all I got to show for myself, and I didn't even show it on the video. I was like, I don't want to show a needlefish. It was a good size too. It was pretty. It was actually really shiny and big old 18-inch needlefish. I mean, it was what it was. It looked like almost like a snake with a bill on it. It was crazy. But anyway, guys, when we get this thing situated, we're gonna check to see how dry it is on the inside underneath the Hobie bucket. And oh, you know, that's about all I can tell you. I'm doing my best to get water in this thing, so I'm gonna get a good sprint at this wave right here. Woo! All right, guys, I'll catch you guys in a little bit.